Ladies and gents, welcome back. Holy cow. Huge number of you guys in the chat already. I'm 1 minute late and look at that. That's amazing. You guys are killing it. Killing it over there out in the ether. What a week. Where do I even start? It was a hell of a meme day today for lots going on in the Twitterverse. Holy cow. Just trying to keep track with what everyone's doing out there and what's happening. I'm even finding more stuff that I thought was hilarious. As I'm putting this all together, I'm just grabbing a bunch of stuff from this week and just throwing it out there to share with you guys, because what a joke. Anyway, for you guys that are just joining in for the first time, this is the live stream. This is the live event that happens every week. My normal thing that I do is I put together videos in the morning every day. Vince, you will eat the bugs. I will not eat the bugs. No siree. No, so what I do here is I put together videos in the morning before I go to work on news stories that I found relevant or wanted to share with everybody, or had enough information on to actually put a cohesive video together about. I put several of those a day together, and then on Fridays I coalesce with the community and we all get together and we talk about these stories as it goes in a live format. And for those that are watching this afterwards, this is the long format, so it's not live for you, but it is definitely a one taker. This is a one take where I fill you in on a lot of the topics that I never got around to doing. But first and foremost, I just wanted to bring up some of the memes and stuff from today. Twitter, the Twitterverse, the hyperbolic chamber, as I like to call it. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this rubbernecking thing, I've got screens everywhere. I need to get another webcam just so you guys can see that. I believe I have another webcam. I just don't have it set up. Maybe I can do that at some point. But, yes. Can Trudeau resign? We're all hoping so. We are all hoping so. Absolutely. But, hi from Victoria. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Team Paranormal. Lots of paranormal stuff happening in the Victoria region. Hey, do me a favor, chat. Quick little one. Just write in the chat, where are you from? Where are you coming from? There's got to be some people that are not Canadians in this chat. There's going to be a lot of Canadians as well. But hey, throw it out there. Just throw it out there where you're from. Debbie LaJoey, thank you for the happy anniversary. Yeah, my wife and I had an anniversary this past week. We have been together for 16 beautiful years. Happy as always, and married and happy and strong. Edmonton, more BC, the 6th. Belleville, Ontario. Wow. Elliott Lake, Ontario. Whoa. Oh, getting that radiation on. Holy cow. Isn't there the old uranium mines up there? Lethbridge, Alberta, Georgia. Like the Georgia or the country Georgia in Europe. Congratulations. Thank you. From New Orleans, Louisiana. Nice. New Brunswick. Diagolon. Love that. Nice. Granby, Quebec. Red Deer, Alberta. Diagolon isn't the land of ginger midget. What? I don't get that reference. I'm gonna have Jeremy on here at some point. We were talking in the DMs and then got busy, so got all kinds of things going on. But yeah, definitely gonna get Jeremy in here. New Jersey, USA. Hamilton, Ontario. Cleveland, Georgia. Wait. Cleveland, Georgia? I know Cleveland, Ohio. There's a Cleveland, Georgia? I bet there is. Isn't there a Springfield in like every state? Kootenai, BC. Woo! Please do a video in Eric July's new comic Ripaverse. I don't know that. Send me a link. Sudbury. I was just in Sudbury a few weeks ago. Yeah, family get together. That was a thing we did. Winnipeg, Toronto. Wow. Lots of people in here. already. You guys are killing it. Amazing. Let's get into some of these funny stories. I wanted to get into some of the trending stuff today. Evidently, it's National Nude Day in Canada. Perfect time to point out that the Emperor has no clothes. Ba-doom! Trudeau destroying Canada. Hashtag as well trending. But yeah, National Nude Day. Okay. Take that as it is. Take that how you'd like to take that. This was a good one from Live from the Shed. Pop this on Watson, as in the Mayor Watson. What else is fun? And Bellend, the police chief Bellend, busking. Oh, Watson. Okay, let's make that illegal. Bell, done. They just don't like fun. They don't like fun there in Ottawa. At least the city officials don't. It's yeah. It's really weird. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever lived in like a co-op council, or we call it out here in British Columbia, call it a strata. Some places call it a co-op. I don't know what you call it in the different regions. But you know, in your houses, you live in townhouses or whatever, and then you'll get like the co-op, you know, they'll have the meetings and whatnot. And you always get the ones that are, I'll take charge of, you know, the parking, and I'm going to take charge of, you know, making sure, you know, the park and the lawns are all upkept. And then they just turn into little tyrants, and they just hate fun. And they always just want to like ruin everybody's day. You always get like, and it comes in waves. It's never like a permanent fixture because people just get tired of these people and kick them off the council. But it seems to be the way things go. And this is what Ottawa's city council reminds me of. I don't know how they got the positions they got. The mayor of Ottawa, what a piece of work that guy is. Anyway, yeah, no busking, no amusers of the public. I love French is so funny when you read it. Like, read it as if it's English. Co-op housing with its community rules, right? I'm actually going through a similar one where I live right now because, what is it? They have, so there's public, there's visitors parking, and for all those that don't know how co-ops work, yeah, you'll only have so much visitors parking. Everybody gets a visitor pass, but it's first come first serve. So whatever, you know, it is what it is. And if nobody polices it for a while, then people just take advantage of it. They're just like, I don't want to park all the way out on the road with my other car, so I'm just gonna use the visitors parking. Well, it goes so far. There's like, you know, a few people that break the rules, and then they gotta crack down. And you know, as soon as they crack down on everyone who's not really breaking the rules. We just I got a letter recently saying that I was violating the rules because a guest of ours had parked more than 3 days in a row. I didn't even know that was a rule. But parked more than 3 days in a row, and we got a notice and said, if you don't correct your behavior, you do this again, you might get like a $200 fine. Well, it turned out, and they took a photo of our friend's car that was in the parking spot, and so it turned out our friend, she stayed at our house 2 nights last week, and then stayed at our house 2 nights this week. My wife's girlfriend. She's here all the time. Anyway, she stayed 2 nights last week, 2 nights this week, and then we got told that she stayed more than 3 nights, and we're like, that didn't happen. But whatever. Anyway, that's what happens. So they crack down on people who aren't even breaking the rules when too many people skirt the rules. But that's how these councils work. When they get serious, they get serial. You better take me serial. You don't go parking too long in them visitors parkings, or I'm gonna come give you a fine. Spawn 420, member for 2 months. Nice. Thank you for being a member of the community. I like cheese is the message. I'm gonna have to set something up. I found out that I can put integration with the Discord and memberships on YouTube. So I want to give some special perks to the members in the Discord area and see what other kind of special perks we can put together for members on the YouTube channel. I want to send out my appreciation for you guys helping out and, you know, throwing a couple bucks here and there. Really appreciate it. Makes me feel great. It makes me feel great. But of course, yeah, definitely appreciated. A lot goes into this, and it gets all put right back into it. Guarantee you that. Anyway, let's get on with some more of this. So, enough of the co-op stuff. I'm tired of co-ops. I don't communism very well, you know? I've always said this. So I work as a mechanic, and I often get asked by like apprentices, why do you have your own ball joint press? Why do you have your own this? Why do you have your own that? And the answer is always that. I don't communism very well. And what I mean by that is the commie tools. Like in the shop, I call them the commie tools, communism tools, whatever you want to call them, shop tools. They're the tools that everybody has access to and nobody paid for except the owner of the company, which, you know, has a stake in them, but not the people using them. And what happens is they just get seshed. Like tools get seshed like real bad. And what happens is, yeah, you know, the forcing screw for the ball joint press gets wrecked. And that guy doesn't want to say he did it, so he puts it back broken. And then you get a job where you need it, and you have to wait with the car all apart as the service guys are trying to source out a forcing screw for the ball joint. But I digress. It's a thing. It's a thing that happens, and the rule of the moral of the story is I don't communism very well, so I just buy my own tools. Even the ones that normally a shop would supply because I need them there at the ready. I'm here to make money. That's the name of the game. Anyway. Like the lifts. No, that's about the only thing I don't buy is the lifts. Yeah, I'm going to bring my own lift to work. Oh, Viper N. $4.99. Super chat. Thank you so much. Man, I didn't come from dystopian dictatorship to Canada to see future signs of another dictatorship. Bloody hell, man. Censorship everywhere. FML. Yeah, I hear you. What dystopian dictatorship did you come from, my man? Because there's a lot. I keep hearing this from people who emigrated years ago from Poland. We've got people who've escaped North Korea, people who've come from China, people who've gotten away from Venezuela. You name it. There's a lot of places that people have escaped from. Joe Limon, thank you so much for doing something. Welcome to the Do Something crew. I don't even know what to call it. Thanks for the membership. I really appreciate it. Mini Schwabs. Yeah, the mini Schwabs of the Co-op Council. There you go. That's the new thing. It's the mini Schwabs of the Co-op Council. Oh God, I like that. The good old cotton Schwab. That one, I think that one kind of stuck. The grand Q-tip. Spawny 420 with, of course, a Canadian 420. Come diesel swap my Jeep. You diesel swap your Jeep. We're talking about doing that on my boss's Jeep. He's got a Wrangler and he wants to he wanted to put a V8 in it. And I said, why don't we put a TDI in it? And he's like, that sounds even better. You can get really, really far on a tank of diesel in a TDI, a lot more than you would out of a 350 Chevy, which is what he was originally going to put in the thing. For those that don't understand car speak, sorry, my bad. TDI, that's a Volkswagen 1.8 or 1.9, depends on the year. Diesel, little tiny 4-cylinder diesel engine. I have an 06 TJ I beat the snot out of. Good work. I used to have a Cherokee, and I loved it. And I let that thing rot out. I had to toss it because it was rotten. Thanks for thanking us. Hey, thanks. Washington State here. Hey, Washington State. Eileen Simpson. Hey, we have another Simpson in the chat, in the stories. We're going to get to that. Anyway, Serb was trending. So I did my usual, because when you see Serb trending, the best thing to do is comment on it, because it gets people out of the woodworks. But my comment, of course, was Serb is trending. Here come all the communists to tell us that universal basic income won't bankrupt us and turn Canada into a third world country. And of course, some did bite. There actually were a couple of commies that got in there and started arguing with me. I think I may have got blocked by them, but yeah, there was one there, got blocked. This one says, what does UBI have to do with communism? Oh, goodness. It was funny, though, because he went on to say that USSR did not have UBI, China did not have UBI, Vietnam, Laos, North Korea, yada, yada. And I said, yeah, communists always promise a base standard of living for all living under the utopian society. And you're right. They never deliver. They never do. They never tend to deliver on their promises. And then he went on to say that 80 million people were lifted out of poverty because of communism. You just no curing stupid, folks. You can't cure it. It's these people, I tell you, Matt Young. Exactly. That's the way it is. But hey, I keep telling people I go to Twitter so you don't have to. But I've been having fun over there. So if you want to come join the party, come follow me on Twitter. Get on there. I'm at Clyde Do Something. So that's just without the G at the end. Do something. Anyway, what do we have here? There's nobody there, Pedo Pete. Pedo Pete, of course, the nickname that was given to Joe Biden by his own family. Interestingly enough, his son calls him that. Affectionate term of endearment for his loving father, apparently. But here he is, not knowing where he's going. Sign of probably late set dementia kicking in. Don't know. I'm just speculating. But I don't think he's all there. I really don't think he's all there. I mean, we have a Mimbo as our prime minister. So he's not all there just because he never was there. But here we go with good old Trudy. You can fix stupid, just use a bigger hammer. Nice one, Spawny. That's right. That's right. Oh, and Dixon Ciderbush, thank you for joining as a member. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Good evening, gents and ladies. You got that? You got that. You put in the cart before the horse, my friend. CD and Clyde. Yeah, that's right. Pedo Pete. That's the president of the United States nickname. From only his close personal family, it turns out. That's a thing. Oh God. I mean, we all had our suspicions. He does like smelling the youth. Let's just put it that way. That's more duct tape over JT's mouth. Sniffer Joe. Yeah, that's it. Sleepy Joe, Sniffer Joe. Chikan Joe. Chikan's a Japanese derogative for groper, if you didn't know that. So it didn't stop at National Nude Day. We also got Gangnam Style trending with National Nude Day at the same time. Wow. So my response was warranted. I'm just glad I'm not in the cities. I don't live in the cities with something like this trending. That is a terrible combination. Didn't we have a whole month of that in June? I don't know. Where's Hunter? Well, he's off making movies. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I haven't really been following that case. Not going to lie. I follow Canadian news more and more than I do American news. What's going on in Europe is much more interesting at the moment. I hope something happens with it. But like, honestly, really, like if that just rides, if that can just ride, I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you at this point. If they just let that kind of thing ride. Joe Biden was making speeches when he was younger about how he's throwing people in jail for a minimum of 5 years. Bang, judge doesn't even have a choice if they have a little bit of the drug that of choice of his own son. And there's video of him arguing with a prostitute about how much he has. Oh, you just can't make this stuff up. Jane, welcome. Thanks for joining as a member. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to try to set something up. I'm going to talk with Cracker and some of the other moderators, Joe Lehman, Newbie, and we're going to fix some stuff up in the Discord. I'd like to set some things up, some perks for members that want to come over and join the Discord. There is a way of joining the Discord with the YouTube channel. I'm just setting that up now. And then we can give perks in the Discord for the people who are members of the YouTube channel. So there is that. And just get over there anyway, because it's a great community and there's lots of stuff going on. Just a heads up, at the end of every stream, I go over to the Discord and hang out with all of you that want to join and hang out in the Discord. So go over, join, become a member. But yeah, every Friday after the live stream, I go over there and we hang out and we all chat. I have some wobbly pops with y'all, and we have fun with that. Celebrate National Nude Day by dancing Gangnam Style. That's what was trending. That was the thing. Let's see what else is on the docket here. Ladies and gents, allow me to introduce you to a bishop from the Church of Science, Church of the Science, as we were talking about before, suggesting that the science is like this new religion that we have. And this guy, because thanks Trudeau is trending, says thanks Trudeau for not being an evil and corrupt anti-vax, anti-mask conservative, because that's evil. It's so evil to tell people that they should mind their own business. And make their own personal choices. So evil. How evil. Church of Science. Church of the Science. Amazing. It's big. What is this Discord you speak of? Discord link is in the description. It's always in the description down below. It's labeled. Join the Discord. Click that link. It's another social media. It's much more up close and personal type social media where in my opinion, it's not like, so Twitter is hilarious and it's fun to go on because people are just losing their brains. Like they're losing their minds. No, Discord is more of a up close and personal, build your own communities sort of social media. And it has great voice and video sharing. And it's like Skype and Facebook and Twitter all wrapped into one. Have you seen The Family on Netflix? Is The Family a show? Oh, The Family. You mean with comedian, great comedian from Boston comedian. What's his name? One of the all-time greats that I'm forgetting is Bill Burr. Is that the one you're talking about? Is that The Family? Oh, I know there's a delay before I get the answer for that. But anyway, I think that's what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm not going to get my answer right away, am I? Nope. No, I'm not. So I'm going to get moving on and hopefully I catch it. F is for Family. That's that show. Oh, okay. Is that not the one we're talking about? The Family. Hello, Darylyn Crawford. Welcome to the chat. Discord is for the cool kids like us. 4-leaf clover. Nice. Yeah, Discord is a great place. I like hanging out there. It is good. Let me see. The Family. Netflix. Watch The Family. Netflix original series. No, I haven't seen it. I canceled my Netflix a while ago. I mean, for 2 reasons. 3 reasons, actually. So, one, the stuff... I almost slipped there. One, their stuff was just getting way too woke. No, I'm not going to support a woke corporation. Not get woke, go broke. Not into it. 2, we weren't watching it that much. We had it forever, and we were just like month after month not watching a single show on it. We're a busy family. We don't spend a lot of time watching movies. Anytime we're not doing some work of some kind or feeding each other, we're out and about walking and going to the parks and all that stuff. So that's kind of the thing. Davy Jones, thanks for reporting on the Dutch farmers. Thanks for paying attention. Honestly, I'm super passionate about what the Dutch farmers are doing, so it's gonna be on my channel. It's one of those things. Less woke, more Clyde. But yeah, so number 3 reason was they sent me a message saying that they were upping the price. I'm like, wait a second, I haven't watched this in forever. It's woke as hell, and I'm done with this. And so I canceled my membership or my subscription to Netflix because I just not having it. Now, what I'd like to do is put enough pressure on a lot of these companies that have subscription models. I'm not a fan of subscription models. And I'm not advocating for pirating either, but what choice do people have when you don't sell the one single product that somebody wants to watch? Like, say you want to watch What is a Woman? Where do you go if you don't have a membership with Daily Wired? I'm not going to get a subscription service. Sorry. I would buy that movie, but it wasn't available to just purchase. And I know what people will say. They're like, just get the subscription and then cancel it. That's what they're hoping you do. Because people get the subscription and then they forget to cancel it. But I'm not a fan of subscription services. I'm the same with games. I never have time to play games anymore, but games that are like subscription games, nah. Like, I want to buy a product and then own it. Thanks. I'm not a fan of these subscriptions, and I'm not against rentals. I rent movies all the time on YouTube. YouTube's a great service for movies because, yeah, you can rent a movie and then that's it. You watched it, you got it for 48 hours and then done. You're never going to need it again. If you want to watch it again, you can just pay for it again. I mean, you could buy it for X amount of dollars, but then whatever. Max Power, thanks for the super chat. The only subscription you should have is if I open an OnlyFans, I'll take requests. All right. But keep those feet out of here. No, feet are raunch, man. That's gross. Some people and their kids, right? Gross. But yeah, funny. But yeah, subscription services, not a fan. Not a big fan. Not gonna lie. But yeah, the family, maybe if they release a series and it's really good. Use a VPN. Yeah, you can use a VPN, but it's not gonna get you free service. I'd rather just pay for the individual things that I want to watch. That's how little I watch of television or movies anymore. Is when a movie comes up, I just like to pay for the movie, that one-off movie. What else have we got here? Let's look at. So the World Economic Forum put out there a new ad talking about how gas stoves are super bad for the environment. They just won't quit. Not only will you eat the bugs, but you won't be allowed to cook them. Thanks, Klaus Schwab. I hate it. What is this thing? So, where's the pause button? There we go. Let's get back to the beginning. I'm gonna have a bit of the audio here. Your gas stove may be harming your health and the planet. Stanford scientists have released some eye-catching stats. In the US alone, methane leaking from natural gas stoves has the annual climate impact of 500,000 cars. Bollocks. I don't believe it. I don't believe you. Why don't I believe you? Because I don't believe anything that they have to say. Eat the bugs. Methane is shorter lived but more potent greenhouse gas than CO2. And that isn't all. Gas stoves could also be harming your lungs. Just anything for you to get off of those fossil fuels. Just, we need to propagandize everyone to get off fossil fuels. More than 450 million people in India and China have adopted these since 2010. What have they adopted? Solution is switching to stoves fueled by clean power, such as electricity and biogas. So use electricity that is powered mainly by coal, depending on where you are in the world. Come on. Like, I get it. If you're from my region, yeah, electric cars, electric bikes, all that stuff, it's hydropowered. They're all hydropowered. Great for the environment. Fantastic. But if you live in, like, I don't know what region, but a lot of regions in the world, it's mostly coal. I saw a great meme the other day, and it was a bunch of coal trains going by, and it said, hey, look, there goes electric car fuel. But that's absolutely the case. I guess these guys are using, what, biofuel? Oh, no. Do I have visitors? No, the door's locked. Biofuel. That looks like just a regular butane range. So, dunno what they're getting at. And then, of course, a third of the planet still cooking on open fires. Yeah, because they're poor. Why do we want to create more poor people? You're not just going to lift people out of poverty with your decrees. Anyway, they just want them to eat the bugs. That's really the concept there. Oof. What else have we got here? This is what the left wants for Canada. Are you sure you want this? And here we have citizens. Let's just click the video, get it up bigger here. Citizens handcuffed lining up under the SWAT team's watch to take their daily mandatory COVID tests to keep their QR codes pass valid, to keep their life going on. This is what you want for the rest of your life? Legit. This is what people are doing. And this is what Big Trudy is ushering in with with his, yeah, exactly, WTF. But yeah, this is what's happening over in, apparently lifting 80 million people out of poverty. This is what that commie on Twitter was saying. Yeah, this is what that looks like. I'll take freedom for 100, Alex. No thanks to that. This was one that caught my eye. Every Canadian needs to see this. I want to make your head explode. Let's just click starring Pierre Poilievre and Bank of Canada Tiff McCallum right to the end. And, well, let's just let this play, and I'll get a little sip of my drinky drink.
Governmental debt. How much of an interest rate hike could the average Canadian household sustain before they would be unable to pay their mortgages or other credit market debt that they hold?
I want to stress that our focus is on supporting the recovery. The Bank of Canada has lowered interest rates to the effective lower bound of 25 basis points. We have embarked on a strategy of large-scale asset purchases, and that has a dual purpose, partly to restore, one purpose is to restore good functioning in our debt markets. The other purpose is to lower interest rates out the yield curve.
Sorry,
and we're very,
so go ahead.
for now and for the foreseeable future, we're focused on providing the monetary stimulus and delivering low interest rates to support the recovery.
You can tell Pierre's like, I've heard enough BS. Do you mind if I jump in there and ask some follow-up questions?
How many
that
households?
is lowering the debt service costs that households face, and companies and governments.
How many households would become insolvent with a 2 percentage point increase in interest rates?
Okay, 2 percentage point increase. How many people would become insolvent?
Are extremely hypothetical. We have no intention of raising interest rates in the current circumstance.
They just raised it by 1%. They just raised it by 1%. And he's like, those are hypotheticals. That'll never happen. Well, what happens to people's variable mortgage rates? Yikes. It's coming.
Of course not. That's why I'm not asking about the current circumstance. I'm asking about the medium-term circumstance, sir. You've admitted that if inflation rises unexpectedly, that you would raise interest rates. Those were your words. You said that. And we need to, as Canadian parliamentarians, to know what that would do to households. How many would become insolvent if you had a 2% increase in interest rates?
The biggest risk to Canadians coming insolvent is not having a job.
Right.
The biggest risk to Canadians not being able to repay their mortgage is not having a job.
Not having a job. Not having a job. Actually, that reminds me of earlier. What was it? I'm going to find this. I'm going to find this because this was a conversation that popped up earlier on Twitter. And that was... I have to go into my replies. Sorry for the wait. Sorry for the wait. Where is it? Right here. Let's pop this up on the screen. So somebody sent me this. Mima on Twitter sent me this because she was asking about this. Click here to learn about jobs for Ukraine, and this is on the jobbank.gc.ca home webpage, and it's a little link for jobs for Ukraine. But this isn't what I was getting at here in saying this, and this is what I was getting at. There's 89,814 job postings. And that's just on the gc.ca website. There is plenty of work. She's saying, I saw this while job hunting today. Is this a known thing? And I said, what? That there are shitloads of jobs and nobody applying for them? Yeah, that's a thing. And then she went on to say, no, she's actually talking about the thing for specifically for Ukrainians. And it was like job postings for Ukrainians, which I thought it was kind of odd. You should have job postings for all people that have eligible work permits in Canada, citizens and residents alike. I don't know why you're singling out certain individuals, but yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, there's a lot of jobs in Canada, and there goes the interest rates are going up. The jobs are still there, but people's ability to pay their loans, well, that just may not be. When the prime rate rose 1%, that means the average $800,000 variable rate mortgage rose over $650 a month. $650 in my neighborhood. Nobody's. If you got a mortgage anytime in the last year, it's at least $800,000. I'm not joking. You can't buy a house in my town for less than $800,000. I don't think it exists. So anyway, just this past month, a variable rate mortgage just rose $650 buccarinos a month. That's insane. Peter Como. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm terrible at that. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. But yeah, 650 bones a month just on that 1% increase on a variable rate mortgage. We got word from Pierre Poilievre talking in congressional hearings prior to this. $240,000 in New Brunswick. That's is there much going on in New Brunswick though? I think I understand why the prices would be a little bit lower there, but they're going up all over Canada. I bet they used to not be $240,000 in New Brunswick. Racism in Canada? What? I don't see much of that myself, but hey, that gets thrown out quite a lot. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. Of course. Of course. I bought my home for $275,000 in 1987. It's now worth $1.8 million. 87, you spent that kind of dough? Wow, it's got to be a big house. That's up by 150%. Oh, for the 240 in New Brunswick. That's crazy. Out here, townhouses, 3-bedroom townhouses, $900,000. That's the going rate. That is just the going rate. Just got back from shopping. What did I miss? $70 for 3 small bags, no meat. It's costing me $79,000, not including interest, to earn every 10,000 years. We change from warming to cooling phase. Yeah, they call it climate change because it changes all the time. You can't deny that. The payment on $100,000 at 10% is $900. It's just insane. But yeah, 50% of all new mortgages in the last year or so have been, 50% of them have been variable rate. That is a lot. That is a crazy number when you think about if interest rates go up even higher. So if interest rates go up even higher, if you had a $800,000 loan, as Joe was saying, and variable rate, and when interest rate went up by 1%, your mortgage payments per month just went up by $650. Now, what do people often do? They refinance at that time. A lot of times. And then they'll put it on the back end. Or they'll, thing I heard about people doing, especially when COVID hit at first, people were deferring payments to the back end of their mortgage. So they're just like, we're going to extend out my mortgage by a couple of months at the end. And they were able to stave off what was going on. But you can't stave that off forever, especially if interest rates go up, and they go up large. Let's not forget the interest rates that went up into the 20s back in the 1980s. And that was to stave off inflation as well. And we're having arguably much worse inflation now than we ever did back then. It is just insane. But of course, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is how they measure inflation, they just keep adjusting it. So the way it works is you have a basket of goods, right? So you have a basket and it's full of a bunch of things, market commodities, things that that you would typically buy, any typical household would buy, and then some, right? So you have computers in there, you have TVs, you have groceries, you have different types of groceries, depending on if it's like all fully made things, you know, things that you buy frozen in a box, or the things you buy from the produce section or meat department. And then you have automobiles and consumer items and all kinds of stuff. Housing is in there. And what they like to do is flub the numbers. So as the interest rates start going way up and the Consumer Price Index shows that by the prices rising, what they'll do is they'll say, well, you know, the basket of goods is a little out of date. Maybe we should put some things in there, like, I don't know, like LASIK eye surgery and things that have been really drastically going down. Yeah, we'll just put that in there and we'll compare it to last year's basket of goods. No, not on what we've changed it. We're not going to retroactively change what last year's basket of goods is and then compare the two. No. We're just going to compare old basket to new basket of different goods. And that's called flubbing the numbers and lying with statistics. Peter Como, what's up with Miss Lich? How can I help? Well, I have a website here. And that is the Give, Set, and Go. I'll put a link in the chat right now. There's the link. And this is the Give, Set, and Go that was put on. I did a video earlier this week when I found out about this. Let's do a refresh and see where it's at now, because we were at 56. $60,000 raised so far for Tamara Lich and her family in this time of need here. I'll read the message here. Hello, freedom-loving people. As I'm sure you're aware, Tamara Lich has been incarcerated once again for fighting for our freedoms. She accepted the JCCF's George Jonas Freedom Award on June 16th, 2022. She was then arrested 11 days later on June 27th, 2022. Since being incarcerated, her and her family have experienced financial strain. Tamara has made great sacrifices for this country and the world. Her only goal is to restore freedom, that word our government despises. Tamara has become a political prisoner, and we cannot predict what will happen next. So let's stand up and support her and her family with some financial support as they go through these difficult times. While she takes the heat for all the freedom-loving Canadians, let's show her how much we appreciate her strength and her sacrifices. Donate today to provide some financial relief and support for Tamara for her family while we continue to fight for freedom. This fundraiser is approved by her lawyer, Keith Wilson, QC. So that's it right there. So definitely go over there and send her some love. Yeah, her family can need it because, well, everyone still has bills to pay. You get thrown through the system. It's not like there's some clause in the law in your rental stipulations or mortgage stipulations that, oh, you got thrown in the clink. Oh, okay. It was unjustified. Yeah, okay, no problem. We're just gonna hold off and not have you not pay your bills. No, everyone still has to pay their bills. There's a lot going on. So yeah, that's definitely a great cause. So if you feel inclined to do so, head on over there. Again, the link one more time is in the comments. Let's hit this up some more. Member for 3 months. Woohoo, Jelly Duck. Thank you so much for getting in there. Tammy Jubinville with a super chat. Thanks for all you do, Clyde. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are crazy generous tonight. This is insane. Hi, Clyde. If my geology classes were lies, then why should I pay the U.S. government for fraudulent information? Are you paying them? Are you paying? I mean, we're getting fraudulent information from all kinds of public sources, but I mean, try not paying them. See, the one resource that always works is the money to throw people in jail for not paying their fair share, as they call it, taxation. Don't try to not pay your taxes. It won't work out very well. It won't work out very well at all. Then you won't be around for the rest of the fight with the rest of us. So I would never advocate for suspending that payment. Ken Wangsness? Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thanks for the $50 super chat. Absolutely incredible there. Haven't been able to catch a live stream in a while, so I better add some more to the beer fund. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Peter Como did something. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member and joining in. Amazing. I think Hi is crazy. Was that Hi was the one that... Yeah, Hi was the one that said don't pay your taxes. Or it's insinuated in that sense. But yeah, they'll get you. They'll get you. They'll get the best of you. They got Willie Nelson. They got Wesley Snipes. You could be rich and Hollywood star all you want and get away with all kinds of stuff. Not evading taxes. That's for sure. They'll, like I said, they'll suspend the medical system. They'll suspend they'll suspend the fire department. They'll suspend all kinds of things. One thing they will never suspend is the jackboots that will show up at your door if you don't pay taxes. By all means, pay your taxes. This is that is the last thing they will be neglecting on. Anyway, let's move into some of these stories before I lose my voice for the weekend and then have to retreat to the Discord where I'm going to hang out with all you guys. But let's get into this. What do we have here? This is from Karen on Twitter. Majority of Canadians think Trudeau is a national embarrassment, and avoiding listening to him as often as possible. Unnecessarily invoking the Emergencies Act just reinforced what we already knew, and that is a Global News article. And what did the article have to say? Global News, what are you telling us? The majority of Canadian airport delays a national embarrassment. Avoiding travel. Poll. Of course, poll. They live by the poll. Like strippers. You know, I mean, they're no better. Journalists at the establishment media getting out there and living by the pole. 70% of Canadians agree the widespread delays at airports across the country are a national embarrassment. A new poll suggests, with nearly 60% of people saying they are avoiding travel until the situation improves. Isn't that the point, though? Isn't that the point? But Ipsos... Really? Is that your organization? What is Ipsos? Come on. Ipsos. Oh, here's the poll. Here's the actual poll. Okay. Go back to the article. Ipsos. Get out of here. Ads. Oh. Brought me somewhere else in the thing. But the Ipsos poll conducted surveys for Global News and released Friday found Canadians believe there's plenty of blame to go around for the delays between airports, airlines, the federal government, and even travelers themselves. Why? Because they wrote that into the poll? Who do you blame? The trucker convoys, freedom lovers, independent journalists? I wonder what they put in the poll. Let's have a look-see. And this is what I love about the live streams. I'm actually reading this for the first time. The poll definitely suggests that there's a lot of anger right now and uncertainty around travel. Gregory Jack, vice president of Ipsos Public Affairs, told Global News. This Ipsos, Michael here. Overall, we definitely see a very high level of concern among Canadians in what is happening at our airports. And they're spreading the blame around pretty equally, because nobody's going to take responsibility for their own actions. Long lineups at Canada's airports have now lasted for months, prompting airlines to cut back on flights and try to reduce the delays, only leading to more chaos as travelers navigate canceled or rescheduled trips. My recommendation, if you're going somewhere domestically and it would normally take 2 flights, like a long flight and then a short flight, skip the second flight. You're not going to get it. You're not going to catch it. I had to do this recently when I went to Sudbury, Ontario. I flew from YVR, Vancouver to Pearson in Toronto, and I got a rental car. Just do that. Just make the drive. It may take longer than your flight if you caught it. Let's just put it that way. You'll get there faster than if you actually got there and then had to reschedule your flight and sit in the airport for 2 days. The government and airline industry groups have blamed a variety of factors, including a surge in traveler demand. You really didn't see that coming? As COVID-19 restrictions ease staffing shortages at airports and airlines, you didn't see that coming? And continued COVID-19 testing for incoming travelers, among other public health measures at airports. You didn't see that? Oh, you gotta say it over and over and over again. But yeah, you knew this was coming, and you fired everybody, and you should have prepared to know that those people that you fired are not coming back. They're not coming back. You fired them over a year and a half ago, told them they're not going to get paid for their time away. Fought with the unions fought against these individuals. They're not coming back. They're not coming back. Ipsos, Michael here, surveyed over 1,000 Canadian adults this week for Friday's poll. These polls are funny. Who's answering these polls? Okay, I'm going to do a poll. And let me put a poll in the chat. Have you answered in the past year for mainstream news? Yes or no? Ask the community. Okay, I'm going to put this poll out there. I'm doing a poll now. So poll in the chat. Have you answered a poll in the last year for mainstream news? Have you contributed at all to any polls that were put out there for the larger community, or these newspapers or whatever mainstream media that says, hey, we took a poll and these are the answers that we got? I'm so curious if anyone in this community, because this is a large community, there's 586 people, 589 people watching right now. Has any of you in the past year gotten a poll and engaged in it at all? They target those polls. They absolutely do. I only answer online polls. Just waiting for this poll to take place. I don't know how long I put it on there for. Buzz. Polls? I don't even watch mainstream news. Propaganda. No. No. But like, news never called me. You know, I got a landline and they've never called my number. I've had polls from like marketing agencies. I've had like Telus, or one was like it was a poll for it was radio, and then I was exempted from the poll because I'm involved in broadcast, and they said broadcast of any kind. Do you do any broadcast of any kind? I said yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, you can't take the poll. And that was it. I do nothing for mainstream media. Hellfire Kitchen. Yes, online when I'm angry. I never got a call for polls. Yeah, who's ever done these polls? I'm gonna end that poll. I just ended our poll. What's the answer to the poll? Wow, 12% of the people in this audience have done a poll in the past year for mainstream. So, bigger number than I thought. Bigger number than I thought, actually. No kidding. But there you go. Poll complete, and that was 156 votes. So, yeah, 12% of you have done a poll for some mainstream outlet. So, I'm actually pretty surprised about that. I clicked no. I don't think anyone's calling you in Kuwait, Jelly Duck. Oh, that's funny. They may have tried calling me, but I don't answer the calls. They aren't on my contact list, period. Oh, fair enough. See, that's the thing, like phone books, they always get the phone numbers from phone books, right? And so they call landlines. But I've never seen a phone book for cell phone numbers. How do they get people's cell phone numbers? That is a question that I do not know the answer to. Yours was the first poll for me, Clyde. What's cracking, salty crackers? Hey, you just getting in from Salty Stream? Welcome. Bringing in the salt into the chat. Lots of that happening tonight. But anyway, it found, well, just 5% of those surveyed strongly agreed that they had been personally impacted by the delays, and another 18% somewhat agreed. Canadians' anger over the situation is palpable. Only 37% of the respondents said federal government is doing enough to address the delays and cancellations. I'm surprised that many people even said that. And 35% said the same about airlines. Yeah, I don't think the airlines are pretty keen on paying for all this, paying for all the delays. Additionally, nearly 60% of those surveyed disagreed that Canada is doing a better job than other countries managing airport delays, which have become an international issue. Wow, 40% actually thought that they were doing a better job than other countries. I think that was just worded funny. When asked if it's understandable that airports are experiencing difficulties as a quick rebound in travel demand could not have been predicted, Canadians were virtually split between agreeing and disagreeing. The poll found that almost 40% of Canadians think that the federal government, airports, airlines, and travelers themselves are equally to blame for the delays. Among those who pointed the fingers at just one direction, a plurality of 22% said Ottawa was responsible. So 40% said Ottawa, along with everyone else, is responsible, and 22% Ottawa themselves was responsible. So that says a lot of people think that Ottawa was responsible for that. Yet different types of delays had different culprits accused of shouldering the blame. For delays at security checkpoints, 33% said the airports were the problem. Airlines were seen as most likely to be responsible for the delays at check-in counters, 31%. And for flight delays at cancellations, 44%. Airports and airlines were equally blamed for baggage delays, 33 and 34% respectively, while 34% said the government was responsible for the delays at customs because, they run the customs department. Gotta say, when my flight was late a few weeks ago, it was late because of luggage delays. But it was late because of luggage delays because the plane was late. So they said luggage delays. But the plane was late arriving, so they didn't back the luggage in time. I doubt, but that could be because of the short staff as well. I mean, it takes people to pack that luggage in and out of that airplane. So we'll see. Canadians were also found to be split on whether these delays were temporary or will stick around for a longer time, with 55% agreeing that the situation will be resolved by September. I can tell you why. The rest predicted the issue will last beyond summer. I'll tell you why that they're gonna be, they'll be fixed by September, because the mandates are coming back, baby. That's what they're doing. They're bringing those mandates back, and they're going to bring them back hard. That's the only reason why they're changing the definition from fully vaccinated to up to date. And that would mean that you've had your latest booster in the last 9 months. Not about getting your first 2 shots anymore. It's about when did you get your last one, and when are you getting your next one? We're counting the minutes. Yeah, do not comply is what Pamela is saying in the chat. I'm going to have to agree with you, Pam. Going to have to agree with you. But that is what is happening. Those mandates are going to be coming back by unpopular demand. And that's my prediction. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. I've disagreed with people on this one. And some people agree, some people disagree, but only time will tell as we move into this next thing. But, okay, we're going to have some fun here and try not to lose the channel in the process. Hold on a second. I'm going to see if we're in good standing just yet. Yeah, we're still in good standing at the moment. But let's walk into this one. Because I want to talk to you about a celebrity from Canada, Jessica Simpson. No, not the same Jessica Simpson you might be thinking of, because that's an American celebrity. No, a different Jessica. The one and only. The one and only Jessica Simpson. And you may be laughing because that doesn't look like a Jessica Simpson. But that is what this person claims that their name is. Jessica Simpson. Anyway, long story short, let's this person is very famous in Canada. And if you're new to the internet and all these topics, that you may not know who this is. And well, let me just fill you in. So there, this was going back a few years now. This individual, I believe it's Jonathan Jessica Yaniv Simpson. This individual, if you can't get the right pronouns, you just try to avoid them entirely. But this individual was, well, let's say, made a transition, and as beautiful and brave as that is, a lot of people questioning, well, did you really? Did you really? And well, the reason why this comes into play is this individual had a litigious spree, let's just say. Criminals have crime sprees, and people who criminally sue people for profits and gains, they have litigious sprees. And this individual was a I wonder if I can even pull up the original story, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Yaniv, how do you spell that? There it is. Waxing. There we go. I'm sorry, this is killing me. So the reason why this person's in the news today is because they finally got something to stick. And oh, that's funny. That's funny, because that was a euphemism or a pun that I did not intend there entirely. But this person, let's go back to the original story. So this is the story from back in 2019 in October. Transgender activist Jessica Yaniv loses wax her balls complaint against salon workers. Teabag anyone? Yeah, that's right. Billy T. Gibson or T. Billy Gibson. Oh man. So this story happened quite some time ago. We're looking back at October 22nd, 2019. Davy Jones, I think I remember this one. That's right. Dave Burwell dying already. Balls abuse. Okay, transgender activist Jessica Yaniv loses wax her balls complaint against salon workers. Jessica Yaniv, a Canadian transgender activist, lost a court case she brought against estheticians. I think that's how you call it. How you say that? Estheticians who refused to wax her balls. Human rights legislation does not require a service provider to wax a type of genitals that are not trained that they are not trained for and have not consented to wax, the BC Human Rights Tribunal determined, according to the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Big up for them, because they're amazing. Represented 5 of the estheticians. So, well, let's get into it. Yaniv was found to have engaged in improper conduct, including filing complaints for improper purposes. The tribunal said that Yaniv's testimony was both disingenuous and self-serving, along with the evasive and argumentative, and contradicted herself. Big balls to go in a courtroom like that. Jay Cameron. Oh, I'm sorry. This kills me every time. This one cracks me up. Jay Cameron, the Justice Center's litigation manager, praised the decision, saying no woman should be compelled to touch male genitals against her will, irrespective of how the owner of the genitals identifies. One proud lesbian, I'll never give up fighting for human rights equally. It's a quote from Jessica Yaniv. Oh, she's a proud lesbian. Oh, goodness. The story continues. In 2018, Yaniv, who identifies as a female but has male genitalia, asks several estheticians to remove her pubic hair around the groin. Numerous salon workers voiced religious objections, while others said they lacked training. The transgender activist accused workers of discriminating against her based on her gender identity and filed 15 complaints. The majority of the women Yaniv tried to get a waxing from were immigrants. She has been ordered by the court to pay $2,000 each to 3 of the women. So, like I said, this is a litigation. She's going around litigating for nefarious purposes, right? Trying to get a payday out of, victim status, as you would. But they wouldn't wax my balls. Like, you go in with the most absurd request, knowing that nobody's going to go along with it. And then, that's what happens. There's a heated debate on the Blair White channel. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This one's just so hard to do. Ball waxing extortion. You got some nice balls over there. It'd be a shame if nobody waxed them. Good grief, indeed. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are killing me. For you guys that are just listening audio only, I apologize. It's just me laughing into a microphone for 5 minutes here. But here we go. So if you guys don't know who Blair White is a conservative leaning, or conservative in general, YouTuber who also happens to be transgender. She calls herself a tranny, right? Okay. But totally, for the most part, passes as a female. Spent a lot of time and effort to do so. But that's how Blair White wants to live her life. But she also happens to be conservative and fights for a lot of the causes that a lot of people from conservative camps or not crazy lefty camps have been fighting for, like women's only spaces and things like that. So this is a famous YouTuber. If you don't know who she is, check out her channel, Blair White. And she also does, she's been on Joe Rogan. She's been on Tim Pool. She's been all over the place. I've been following Blair White for a long time. Much respect. Big respect for Blair White. Anyway, Blair White calls this individual out and says, get on my channel and tell me about what's going on with your balls. And Korea has nothing on Blair White. What? That's horrifying looking. Yeah, absolutely. So has Jessica Yaniv on, and in the middle of this, Yaniv gets all huffy and puffy and threatens, I don't know if threatens Blair White, but threatens to tase people and has like an illegal taser. Ended up getting arrested for that. But yeah, that was a thing. Anyway, there's what am I scrolling through here? Oh, that's an ad. Oh, that's the end of the story. But but nothing gets pinned on this individual, Jessica Yaniv, until now. So this story broke today. Breaking: Jessica Yaniv, Simpson, found guilty of assaulting conservative journalist. And the conservative journalist is a journalist from Rebel News. What's his name? The Menzies. Menzies. I'm thinking. It'll be in the article anyway. Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was Menzies, but no, it's Kian Bexty. From the counter signal. Never mind. Alleged transgender sexual predator. God. Oh yeah, that was another thing that Yaniv got charged for, was exposing herself, showing them balls off, those freshly waxed balls, to a bunch of young girls at a swimming pool, evidently, or allegedly. I'm not sure what was the scenario. So anyway, alleged transgender sexual predator Jessica Yaniv Simpson, what a title, what a title, what a career, has been found guilty in a Surrey provincial court on Wednesday for assaulting former Rebel News journalist Kian Bexty. Yaniv, biological male who now goes by the name Jessica Simpson. Oh, God. If you're going to change your name, why would you change? Oh, really? I guess go big or go home, right? Was charged with assault after he repeatedly punched Bexty in the head with closed fists on January 4th, 2020. Is there video of this? Maybe. Rebel News journalist Kian Bexty, who now is with the Counter Signal, approached Jonathan Yaniv for questioning after he appeared in court on 2 counts of weapons charges. According to the video footage of the incident, which was submitted by evidence in court, Yaniv can be seen assaulting the journalist after grabbing his microphone outside the Surrey Provincial Courthouse during an outburst of anger. Yaniv proceeded to chase Bexty while yelling profanities as the journalist attempted to retreat from the scene. Yaniv, who has an extensive history of assaulting journalists, eventually walked away after Bexty questioned if he was going to plead guilty in his criminal case. Judge Mark Jett said Bexty's testimony that Yaniv punched him in the head couldn't be proven through submitted evidence. However, footage proved that an assault occurred, Rebel News reports. Despite being found guilty, okay, anyway, we can probably check this out if it's not too loud. Oh, so this is the scene.
Will you be pleading guilty? What?
Go.
No,
Go.
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Hey! Stop!
Whoa!
Go away from me! Go away!
Fucking hell.
Go away from me!
Jesus, get away from me,
Go away
you
from
fucking
me.
crazy fucking
Get
thing.
away from me! Get away! Get the fuck away from me!
Stay away from me.
Get away
Oh,
from
they didn't
me
bleep
now.
it. They didn't bleep it. Bleepity
Right now.
bleep. Sorry, kids. Any kids
You
in the
heard me?
I'm
room?
calling the police on you.
I don't give a shit. Get away from me.
You stay away from me. I'm backing.
It's ma'am. Come on. It's. You want to see? I'll show you, ladylike. Like, come on. What is going on here? Oh, I'm gonna have to kill the audio because there's just too many swears. But yeah, if your kids are watching, yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah. All he did was ask about the court case. That's all that he did at the beginning there. So were you found guilty? I'm gonna kick your butt. I'll show you, ladylike. Oh yeah. Snapping into a Slim Jim here. Having a little roid rage. Wow. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in, folks, where this kind of thing can happen. Oh boy. So I haven't seen this footage. This is the first time I've seen this footage. I wasn't aware of this, but I know that this individual had also assaulted the reporter Menzies. What's his first name? Not Brian. That was Brian Lilly that used to report for David. Is it David Menzies? I believe it is. I think there was footage of that. Let me try to find it. I'll pull that up. 1 second here. Yaniv assaults. Assaults reporter. Da, 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 da. I think I found it. It doesn't take long to find these things. Oh, watch it. It's on eBombs World? No. eBombsWorld.com. No, watch on YouTube. Oh boy. Oh, get ready for this. I got the audio off again because there's probably swears. But this is the kind of person. Okay, attacking somebody with a stick. Oh god. Oh golly. Beautiful and brave. Beautiful and brave. Oh. Oh my. No. No. So this again was another reporter at the time for the Rebel. See how old this is? That's the old Rebel thing. Oh goodness. Goodness. Okay, so that's yeah, that's Jessica Simpson after the I think it was the ball shaving incident, and then in a in a moo and yeah, exposing. So that this was part of what was going on here. So Yaniv was in a changing room with girls, underage girls, and snapped a selfie of the individual's self. I'm trying not to get kicked off the website here. But in a mirror with the girls in the background that are in a woman's only space. This is a washroom. This is absolutely criminal to do. But obviously inserting themselves into this room on the auspices of identifying as a woman. That being the point there. Judy Halmer, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. This is really tough to get through without just cracking right up. But anyway, attacking another reporter here, and this was yeah, David Menzies. So this is the one I knew about. Beautiful and brave. Beautiful and brave. Oh, sorry if I've ever typed a bad word. Oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I gotta watch what I say because you know, there's certain words you're not allowed to say on YouTube. But I also try to keep it clean out of respect for all the parents out there, because you know you're watching your favorite YouTubers, and your YouTuber friend, if your favorite YouTuber swears too much, it tends to be one of those YouTubers that you can never have on when your kids are in the room. So I try to keep it somewhat clean so you can play these videos or listen to them with the kids in the room. Wood chippers, need more wood chippers. I guess that's a Fargo reference. I need to move on because I was laughing too hard, too much about ball wax going on here. Too much ball wax in the in what's going on here. Now I want to share with you guys a little bit about what's going on in the Netherlands, and this is news that I haven't yet. Some of it is news that I haven't yet been able to read. So we'll be doing that live together. But I wanted to share with you this. Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, people have just started their own biological food co-op, bypassing the supermarkets and buying directly from the farms. This is what we used to do, and they're called impromptu farmers markets. I grew up in Ontario, and in southwestern Ontario, this would spring up all the time. You just drive through the county, and you'd have farmers out selling stuff. And in fact, in Japan is such a high trust society. If you go to the countryside, they literally have stands on the road, way away from the farm, or kind of close to the farm. But they'll put stands on the road where the farmers will just have some produce, and they'll just put it out on this stand, and you come by and you grab what you would like, and you just put money in the box, and it's completely on the honor system. And I really love the high trust society in Japan, and I'd love to bring our society back to that, because that's what we are really shooting for. But we do it on a voluntary basis. We cannot do it by decree. This is the way things are in the world. And if you try to force everybody to do things, it just shows more distrust. It does not work. Japan is so high trust. Yeah, that happened. And I haven't reported on that yet. But Japan is a high trust society. But yeah, there are some bad elements to every society. That does happen, and that was really unfortunate what happened to Mr. Abe. But anyway, let's get back to the farmers. And the farmers are, they're, because the grocery stores are just not getting anything. Clyde, I thought you looked familiar. Big Dice. Yeah. I get that a lot, actually. But yeah, just bypassing the supermarkets, because they shut down any of the centers for distribution. They've all been shut down. The supermarkets are no more. People are going to the farm, and they're going to buy food directly from the farmers. And guess what? It tastes better that way. It does. If you haven't tried it, go buy food from a farmer. It's just the best way to do it. We do it all the time. We like to go up, pick berries, get vegetables and stuff like that as much as we possibly can. But that's the way it's going. Thumbnail is hilarious. That was a product of last week, hanging out in the Discord. So come hang out in the Discord. We do all kinds of goofy stuff, drinking wobbly pops. And I came up with that and everyone said you got to use that in the next live stream. Newbie 431, thanks for re-upping your membership. Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Wicked. But yeah, we had a lot of fun putting that thumbnail together. But let's get into this. Some more on the farmer situation. So this is so awesome. Respect to the Dutch. Dutch farmers are preparing their own water cannons for the police. Now, if you're not familiar with the police water cannons, they have these armored vehicles, and on those armored vehicles, they have water cannons, and I think they're with limited supply, or they have to hook up to a hydrant or whatever. But here we have farmers using some of their implements to dish it right back at them. So they're getting themselves ready to use this if need be. But that is a whole tanker with a giant water cannon, and yeah, they mean business. And well, we'll see what ends up happening here. Noob gifting 10 memberships to the Ladia. Lucky you guys. Thank you so much, Noob. Awesome. Getting more of those memberships in. Really appreciate it. That's amazing. Really cool. Yeah, so lots of people getting memberships. Noob is a resident mod here, but also in the Discord. I was talking earlier, Noob, that we're gonna I've done some integration with YouTube and Discord, and we're gonna try to set up some perks for the members in the Discord, so that members show up in the Discord and it shows that they're members and yada yada, maybe some special perks. So we'll look into doing that and seeing what we can make available. Anyway, moving on here. Breaking, Dutch farmers have called on the world's blue-collar workers to come together for an international day of demonstrations against radical climate policies on July 23rd. So here we go. Let's open up this article by the Countersignal. And this is by Kian Bexty. This guy is all over this live stream, and he doesn't even know it. I'd love to get in touch with Kian Bexty. Great writer, great reporter. finally vindicated for having the big balls of Jessica Simpson all over him in that one event. But here we go. Dutch farmers have called on the world's blue-collar workers to come together for a day of international demonstrations against radical climate policies on July 23rd. In a video that's gaining traction and going viral, the creators call for Dutch lions to rise up before launching into a compilation of civil rights movement featuring likes of Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi. Interspersed throughout the video is footage of Dutch farmers, fishermen, truckers, and general protesters in the Netherlands taking to the streets, blockading highways and distribution centers. As MLK's voice plays in the background, the words, "Let's unite, stand up, and rise" fades in and out. Also included in the video are those who protested various destructive climate policies or stood in solidarity with the Dutch in their own countries, including those in France, Italy, Australia, Canada, and the United States and the US. Germany and Poland have also been supporting the farmers' protest. Can they really make a difference? The video asked before showing a reel of successful non-violent rebellions in the beginning in 1905. So let's have a look. I'm gonna pop this open because dark mode doesn't work in that website. I don't know if this is gonna be copywritten music, so I'm gonna turn it off real quick if it happens to be. Let's just find out. That statement at the end, going Dutch, though, that is just, heavy. I'm seeing in the chat here, where was I seeing this? Excuse me, sorry. So Bruce said, nitrogen is inert, harmless, what a joke. And then, critical thought, yes, but NOx isn't, Bruce. I'm not saying I agree with the Dutch government. Yeah, so here's the short and sweet on that one. NOx gases, so NOx gases, The reason why they say NOx is because they're nitrogens, but then they're attached to other things. Depending on which nitrogens are attached to other things, they can interact with sunlight and then create low-hanging ozone, which can be creates smog. Smog is pretty bad. Now, what they're saying is that that's what's being produced on those farms, but you don't see smog coming off of farms, do you? No, and they're conflating different things, right? They're conflating I'm gonna look more into the science behind it, but even the farmers are like, nah, there's no sense to this. But the NOx gases that come out of cars, yeah, that's a problem. The NOx gases that are coming out of cars do lead to low-hanging ozone, and that's a problem. And just look at the cities. Look at if you ever flown into was it LAX airport. It's gross. You see it coming in. There's that low-hanging ozone, and it's smog. Smog doesn't burn off in the morning. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's really interesting is, and they also talking about ammonia, and it was suggested a while back that, and I don't know why it got smashed, maybe because of OPEC, but there was people working on a ammonia-driven engine for airplanes, like a jet engine that was fueled by ammonia. Again, I can look more into that and get more details about it, but yeah, it's all looking like a bunch of just land grabbing BS IMO. But here we are. The Dutch farmers are currently protesting against the climate policies that would put 50% cap on nitrogen and ammonia emissions by 2030. So here we are. Farmers are the primary targets due to the supposed impact of fertilizers use and livestock. They estimated that at least 30% of farmers will be forced out of business and will have to sell their land due to the policy. Mind you, land that's been in their families for hundreds of years. The Dutch government knows this and has positioned itself to purchase the land, which is highly dubious, to say the least. The honest message is that not all farmers can continue their business, a government statement reads. Unreal. And mind you, the original theory of overpopulation was because there wouldn't be enough food. They wouldn't be able to produce enough food. And now they're like, we're overpopulated. Get rid of some of the food. Many critics of the policy say they're aware of the government's real motivations to force the farmers to sell their land for pennies on the dollar so the government can pave over it, erect new apartment complexes, and bring in hordes of new immigrants. As Dutch legal philosopher Eva Veldingerboek, oh my God, that explains while speaking to Fox News' Tucker Carlson, what this is about is Dutch government stealing our farmers' land. They're not doing this under the guise of they're doing this under a guise of a made-up nitrogen crisis that is basically going to put most of these farmers completely out of business. They're doing this because they want these farmers' land, and they want it to house new immigrants. They also want it because the farmers are obviously standing in the way of the Great Reset plans that they have for us. Farmers are hardworking, God-fearing, and especially self-sufficient people that are just standing in the way of their globalist agendas. And I can't agree with this more. And I like just the sentiment alone that Eva put forward in this interview. She said that the farmers are ungovernable. And the good takeaway from that is by making yourself self-reliant, you become uncontrollable. And that's when she's saying that the ungovernable that's the sentiment behind it. And I've always found myself in any situation where I feel the weight of the weight of the possibility of relying on somebody else in any situation and it not going in my favor, I've always done my hardest and worked my hardest to get myself to be self-sufficient in that avenue. So if somebody could possibly have something over me, I'm going to work my tail off until they no longer have that on me. And that's just a good work ethic and a good way of looking at the world. And that's how Dutch farmers see things. Nope, they're self-reliant and they don't want to be ruled over. The only way they can be ruled over is if they take these initiatives and aim them at farmers. Similarly, policies have spontaneously popped up in several other countries, including Canada, where the government is planning to impose nearly the exact same cuts on nitrous oxide emissions. So nitrogens with the X or the NOs, the nitrogen oxides emissions from fertilizers, especially, but will only enforce a 30% cap rather than a 50% cap. Still, this cap is more than enough to destroy the lives of thousands of farmers. The video includes by calling on supporters of Dutch farmers to come together in peaceful protest on July 23rd. The world is going Dutch. I love that. But yeah, nitrous oxides, so the nitrogens in NOx, those are the ones evidently they lead to low-hanging ozone, which is smog. But again, you're not seeing that around farms. And what I was reporting earlier, I think it was this week or late last week, there was another article where the farmers were talking about, Canadian farmers were talking about this. They're saying these numbers are arbitrary and they don't make sense or mean anything because they're not taking into consideration the soil, the weather. They're not taking into consideration the type of crop that's being sown in a field. These are all factors that farmers understand. And yeah, you're going to use more fertilizer for different crops. If a crop is more, you can fit more of those crops in a given area on the land, and it would make sense that they would soak up more nutrients out of the soil. So you would have to use more fertilizers. But you're not going to get this out of a government official, a bureaucrat, or a politician. They're not going to understand these things. And we've tried this before in history. Central authority farming doesn't work. It led to the starvation of 100 million people in Europe and China just last century. Let's not do this again. It is bad news. Definitely bad news, but getting on to more things. Sorry, things are hectic, and that's the way it goes. I don't know how much more time I have to get into all these stories, so I'm going to try to pick the ones that I wanted to talk about probably the most. I've got lots of stuff here. A bunch of different stuff. Surprise! Let's cover this one real quick. So, surprise, these emails about returning CERB payments aren't scams, says the CBC News. And this got put out all over social media because apparently people are getting these notices in the mail. You got to pay back your CERB. So CERB was a benefit. What's the acronym for it? I'm going to find it in this article. I always forget the acronym, but it was, somebody put it in the chat. It was a benefit for people who are off because of COVID, essentially. So CERB was this temporary benefit that a bunch of people, a lot of people were told they were going to get. A bunch of people applied for, and a lot of people are being told, nah, you got to pay it back. Now, a lot of people are used to getting scammed. Canada Emergency Response Benefit, CERB. That's right. Thank you so much, Hoist to Crew. But yeah, a lot of people were given this and told to pay it back. In fact, I know of a person who didn't collect the full entire amount of it, only collected about $1,500 worth of it, but then went back to work because they were able to go back to work, so no longer eligible. And then were told to pay back $2,000 worth. Not only that, we're given, it was mailed out to them later than the date that it was due. So they ended up having to pay the $2,000 and were ineligible for fighting the claim, or claiming against it, because they they passed the due date for disputing it. Absolutely horrible. So recipients confused by odd framing and broken images. Recipients notices what seemed like red flags as soon as they opened emails from Service Canada demanding repayment of pandemic benefits. The government logo looked strange or was broken. The text was gray instead of the black typical used in official government correspondence. Some were written in French first, followed by English, which to many seemed unusual. Linda Hunter, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Great stream and good time for me. It's Saturday here. I like the good chat folk too. Nice community. Thank you so much. Appreciate it a lot. And don't forget to check out the Discord if you're inclined to. We hang out there afterwards and we like to chitty chat. We're going to be doing that probably after this story or maybe another one. We'll see. We'll see if how my voice is doing. You were paid more benefits than the amount you were first eligible, said one such email seen by CBC. There was a link to a 1-800 number and something about a Nigerian prince. I don't know. It's something like that. Some immediately dismissed it as another scam by fraudsters purporting to be from a government agency. And here's CBC to let you know that no, this is not in fact some Nigerian scam. This is an official government of Canada scam. Pay the thing back. Others discussed the emails online recounting attempts to get straight answers from Service Canada. One recipient claimed an agent hung up on them when they called to ask. Yes, it's a scam, and specific scam number quoted is really the beginning of the scam if you follow through and call it. So these are all just got this week. Disgusting. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people saying that it looks like a scam. Totally sus. What are you doing? On Twitter and Reddit, they said the formatting looked vastly different from government correspondence they'd received in the past. One wrote that the government logo looked horrible. It looks horrible anyway, as if it had been made with the No Frills app MS Paint. Others, though, it was suspicious to be contacted via email rather than a secure message. More than 100 people reported emails to the National Fraud Watchdog. What are you doing in here, little man? What are you doing? We're looking at suspicious emails from the federal government, apparently. They're terrible at writing emails. Everyone say hi to Daniel. Daniel, say hi to everybody. Hey, little man. Little man. Hey, you looking? You looking there? You see yourself? You see yourself, little man? You see that? You see that? Sorry. Interruptions. They happen. Others thought, yeah. More than 100 people reported that the emails to the National Fraud Watchdog, but Service Canada says the emails are not a hoax. We're just really bad at what we do. And those who receive them really have to pay up. Seriously, pay up. The agency uses the email address in question, ei.servicecanada@canadagc.ca, to contact people about employment insurance and emergency benefits. It has sent 26.2 million emails from that address since March 2022. I wonder how many like big benefits that they gave out to companies that didn't deserve it. They ended up, and I'm talking big corporations, not mom and pops. I wonder how many emails they sent out to them after they. Holy cow, that is a lot of emails, including emails about the $2,000 per month Canada Emergency Response Benefit. CERB, thank you very much in the chat for getting me that earlier, which the government launched that month for workers who were laid off or had their hours cut significantly during lockdowns. It's not clear how many variations of the repayment letter have gone out. So at the end of the day, they're saying, hey, if you got that letter, it may have looked terrible and totally unprofessional, and looked very sus. But you still got to pay it. May have been sent by your local Nigerian prince. You still got to pay it. Right, little man? All right, can you head in the house? Off you go. You got to go in the house, man. What are you doing? Oh, he just wants to hang out. He just wants to hang out. Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to get to the last story. We're going to get to the last story before we head in. What was the last one I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about this one because I've been meaning to get this one. They gave $6 million to teenagers under 20. Yeah, Will Moore, I saw that. I didn't know how to respond to that one because there was a lot of people who were working, and there were teenagers that did get laid off that did have jobs, and they had to spend time away and did pay taxes. Well, yeah, if you're over 18, you still pay taxes. So those people, yeah, they're eligible. So if you are eligible, but again, they keep sending. They were sending a lot of people who didn't deserve it, but then a lot of people who actually were eligible got told they had to pay it back anyway. What's his name, Clyde? My son's name is Daniel. Daniel. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? And Daniel speaks English and Japanese in gibberish, right? 日本語できるでしょ? 日本語わかる? わかりますね. All right. Let's get to this story. This is the last story for the night. And then we're going to hang out in the Discord. We're going to drink wobbly pops with the community. That's how it's going to go. Here we go. Gunter, a handbook for school kids liberals are funding is propaganda. And this is a confronting and preventing hate in Canadian schools, a toolkit. This is a toolkit for teachers. According to the website Blacklock Reporter on Wednesday, the federal cabinet approved $250,000 for a group called the Canadian Anti-Hate Network to produce propaganda for school children that seeks to demonize conservative parties in Canada as hotbeds for white nationalists. Hey, are we white nationalists, Daniel? And other racists. Here we go. The group upcoming publication confronting and preventing hate in Canadian schools to be distributed to young people across the country encourages them to view Canada's pre-1965 flag, the red ensign, as a hate symbol and claims not once but twice the Conservative Party of Canada has been infiltrated by racists, they say. What? This is being tax paid for propaganda. Now, this confronting and preventing hate in Canadian schools link is no longer available. You click that link and, oh, this doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, they took it down. Fortunately, I found it, so we're going to go over a little bit of it. And students hear, and if students hear other kids at school saying good or even uncritical things about Donald Trump, they are to rat them out to the teachers. Why are we spending taxpayers' money on something that promotes such an obviously biased stand? And how is it anti-hate to insist right-leaning citizens are more likely to be racist? That is crazy. This guide is a glaring example of reflexive prejudice of Canadian progressives. Absolutely. They genuinely see themselves as the only enlightened class in the country. Therefore, anyone who doesn't agree with their worldview must have dark motives. In the guide, the self-importance is obvious. In some locations, the... All right, little man. Can you head in the house? Can you head in? I gotta bring you in. I'll be right back, everybody. Give me 1 second. Gotta bring you in. Oh, there we go. There we are. Okay, here we are. In the guide, this self-importance is obvious. Okay, I read that. Not surprisingly, diversity minister Ahmed Hussein said the Anti-Hate Network is an organization that I respect very much. He added, the group's toolkit for students will give them the tools to make the right decisions when they react to a real-life situation. Notice the verbiage there. This toolkit will get them to make the right decisions. The right decisions. Wait, not look at things critically. Not observe and come to their own conclusions. No. They're going to make the right decisions. That is what they're calling for. Now, what is this document, this tool book? You go back to page 48 in a bit, because this is where it gets kind of funny. But it's this long toolkit. It's a big toolkit, but yeah, it starts with this main confronting and preventing hate in Canadian schools, a toolkit. The Canadian Hate Network is an independent, not-profit organization made up of Canada's leading experts and researchers on hate groups and hate crimes. The Canadian Anti-Hate Network counters, monitors, and exposes hate-promoting movements, groups, and individuals in Canada, and provides information and education to the public through journalism and advocacy. Do you think you'll find Antifa in here? Nope. You're not going to find that. Our work is made possible in part by thanks to a grant from the Anti-Racism Action Program. And then stuff in French. Western States Center. Okay, yeah. So it goes on to a full toolkit. Introduction. What are we talking about when we say hate promoting events or movements? Why do we need to have this conversation in Canada? Because you need to be propagandized, kids. Why do students of color participate in hate movements? That one's going to be good. Actually, I want to get right to that. Number is page 4. Why do students of color participate in hate movements? This is going to be fun. Where are we? Page 4. Why do students of color participate in hate movements? Although white nationalism is explicitly anti-BIPOC, what's the bi in POC? It's like people of color, I think is that, but I know there's a new acronym, BIPOC. And anti-immigrant, although the white nationalism is explicitly, white nationalism is, but the people you claim are white nationalists are not. Anyway, when I was growing up, POC meant piece of crap. I don't know why they took that acronym. Many students of color actively contribute and have been involved in hate-promoting movements in Canada. The Proud Boys have insisted that they are not a hate group because they're multiracial and previously had a Latino leader in the U.S. Educators have shared stories with us about students of color engaging in hate movement organizing, including white nationalism. Canadian students of Asian origin have been found to administer neo-fascist social media channels. Or you're wrong about it. How about that? How about it doesn't it sounds crazy because you're crazy. Shared beliefs in misogyny, anti-slob, that's a new one. Anti-two-slob, slob-gtqi. That's the new acronym. They're not too. Anyway, alpha-gettios. Anti-alpha-gettios, anti-Muslim, anti-blackness will often attract and unite people of color to hate groups. Why? Why would that be the case? Are you going to explain that? Alex Minassian, the perpetrator of the 2018 Toronto van attack, was a student of Toronto's York Region District School Board, where only 30% of the students' body identifies as white or European descent. Additionally, there's a far-right messaging and other cultural Islamic... They just glossed over that. That student was a self-described incel. He had nothing to do with right-wing groups or anything like that. See, this is how propaganda works. They just make a statement and then move on, gloss over the fact that they just lied. Additionally, there are far-right messaging in other cultural spaces. Islamophobic Hindu nationalism has been more of a topic with the Indian farmer protest in 2021. WeChat, a messaging platform popular with Chinese Canadians, also a venue for far-right content. So Hindus are white nationalists and Chinese Canadians are what? Or, sounds crazy, but maybe you're crazy. Maybe you're wrong. Youth are at risk with other hate movements too. Minassian is of American descent and adopted his views in part by spending time on incel forums. Okay. A report by the ADL found that while roughly 55% of respondents from incel community were white, the remaining 45% were a range of ethnic racial groups, including Black, Latino, and Middle Eastern. Try to explain the heavy presence of people of color in incel movement. Toronto Star reported on how the fundamental misogyny of these communities overrides racial tension in alt-right spaces. They don't explain it. They just word salad it into existence. Or you're crazy. That's it doesn't make sense and you're trying to justify something. Or you're the idiot. You're the crazy person and you're just coming up with stuff. Why does this not seem to make sense? Maybe because it doesn't make sense. Maybe because your narrative doesn't work. But yeah, let's get into the memes. So they get into this section of this propaganda thing. It's huge. It goes on. Look, Jordan Peterson, Daily Stormer. I don't know that publication. National Policy Institute. I don't know. But Jordan Peterson is a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto and internet celebrity of the far right. No, he's an internet celebrity of just people who are not crazy left. He's not right leaning at all. Peterson defied a Canadian bill that would ban discrimination by gender identity and spoke against political correctness in YouTube videos that garnered millions of views. His arguments are often cited by hate-promoting individuals to explain oppression against whiteness and to frame culture of political correctness as anti-white and destructive. What do you even say to that sentence? So, Jordan Peterson makes a lot of sense because he fought against a bill that would ensure that words, compelled speech, the government can compel you to say certain words or face punishment, that's a liberal idea. That's not left or right. I mean, that's a centrist idea. But because people we don't like support him or like him or have quoted him or something, made up people. Do these people even exist that are being referred to here? Because people we just made up purport to like him. Yeah, he's totally a bad guy. He's totally far right. Insane. Anyway, far right memes. Here come the far right memes. Pepe the Frog is a comic character that was appropriated by far right online spaces, particularly 4chan, and is now well known as a racist mascot, popular in white nationalist spaces. There are many varieties of Pepe. Note, because Pepe was co-opted by racists, its usage cannot be assumed to be hateful and context should be considered. Example, it is commonly found to begin spaces on the video game streaming platform Twitch. Wait, so Twitch is racist? I thought it's full of lefties. This is where Hassan Piker got his audience. Oh, goodness. Wojak or Feels Guy. Wojak is a meme often used in concert with the Pepe Frog and other similar online spaces such as Poll slash Poll or 4chan. Yeah. And other people use it too. So if your kids are using these, be aware your kids are being indoctrinated by racists. That's what's being claimed here. The Happy Merchant. The Happy Merchant actually comes from, didn't that come from the Elders of Zion? That was like a weird propaganda from like the Bolshevik Revolution. That's what I thought that was. Happy Merchant meme is an anti-Semitic cartoon used by in far-right online spaces to suggest greed or a Jewish conspiracy. It's ironically used because it's funny how over the top it is. That's why it's used. Helicopter rides. This is funny. So helicopter rides. Images of helicopters, often with people falling out of them, have been used by a number of alt-right groups, including misogynist paramilitary group, the Proud Boys, and anti-communist action. The usage of this meme is a reference to Chilean dictator Pinochet's tactic of killing his opposition by throwing them out of helicopters. It's specifically used to celebrate and encourage violence against ideological opponents. Maybe you forgot something in that statement. Pinochet threw communists out of a helicopter. That's what is purported to have happened. I don't know if there's any proof that actually even happened ever, but so the concept of the helicopter meme is rides for communism. It rides for communists. Anyway, but yeah, they totally missed that. They omit lies by omission, of course. Is what happens here. The Chad guy or trad girl meme, often found in anti-feminist and incel groups. Maybe just based. It's all over Twitter. It's just normal people use these. Ideal for cisgender white men and women. Cis, for those that don't know, cisgender is a word that crazy people use for normal. Cis just means normal. I think it comes from like geneticists. Like there's like cisgene or whatever. Like if a gene is not, it's just the neutral or just the normal instead of a mutated gene or something like that. They would say cis. They put cis in front of it, or I don't know how it's used, but it was co-opted by the gender movement to say anyone who is just normal. They made up a new word. But yeah, I don't like to use cisgender. I just say normal. Normal men and women. It has since been adopted by other ideologies, or maybe just people that think it's funny. They make it sound like a derogatory term. Yeah, right? Well, they use it in a derogatory way. I love this. The NPC meme is now racist, everybody. If you see an NPC meme in your kid's timeline, they may have been infiltrated by the racists. Non-playable character NPC. The NPC is in the same family as the Chad guy and Trad girl. Yeah, because it's all it's all the Wojak meme. It's all Wojak. Used to mock normies or people who don't subscribe to their belief system. Usage has become commonplace, so don't automatically assume racist connotations. No, you got it wrong. And the NPC theory is a great one. It's a great one, and it's so funny. If anyone hasn't heard this, so for anyone who's heard this is just old news, but the the NPC meme is the funny one, probably my favorite of all of them, because it really gets people going. Because the concept of this meme, the original concept of it is there's only so many souls to go around, right? God made only so many souls, and now that we have such a large population, well, there's not enough. There's too many vessels and not enough souls. So it's kind of like in a video game where you walk around and you find these non-player characters, where it's not another player, but it's an NPC, non-player character. And because they don't have a soul, they don't make real decisions or anything like that. They just have a set of scripts that run. So if you interact with them, they'll interact back with you, but they only have so many things that they can reply to you with. And you find this with a lot of people that follow leftist ideology, where they only have so many scripts to run at, and you say something to them, and then they'll come back at you. You're a racist or triggered or something, and yeah, they only have a set of scripts. They don't have souls, I guess. But that's why it's so funny, because when the meme came out and people caught on to what it meant, they're like, "You're saying I don't have a soul? You're triggered." They get all triggered over it, and it was hilarious, and everyone had an amazing moment at that. But oh yeah, again, the Canadian Red Ensign. The Canadian Red Ensign, the flag of Canada until 1965. Its usage denotes a desire to return to Canada's demographics before 1967. Of course, that's false. That's not why people fly it, but this is how they can rebrand it. When it was predominantly white. Oh, okay, of course. Not to be confused with provincial flags, specifically Ontario's, which looks very similar except for the crest. Right. The Canadian Red Ensign is often used by the younger alt-right Canadian First movement, but has been seen amongst older hate-promoting groups. In other ways, if we want to, we have a bunch of people that are using these symbols. We have a bunch of people that use these memes. They're using them. It's popular, so we're gonna write a propaganda piece that rebrands all of their symbology to be the bad guys. Not that it actually exists, but it's funny, but it's also a frustrating document because it's done intentionally. You know it. You know that it's done intentionally. It's not one of those things where this is accidental. This is very, very much intentional. They're pushing this narrative that basically anyone who doesn't walk the line of the progressive far right ideology is a bad guy, and let's make them seen as terrible for all in Canada. It's a propaganda attempt. I'm not gonna bite, but a lot of people do bite at this. But I'm glad it's getting the rounds because it's getting ridiculed. I just so sad that so much funding went into this. But I'm gonna leave it there. I think I'm gonna leave it there. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 14 minutes now, and holy cow, I feel like I'm losing my voice. And I'd like to have a couple of wobbly pops. I'm gonna go hang out with you guys in the Discord. That's what I do after the streams on Friday evening. I like to have a couple of beers and hang out with the community. If you guys are so inclined to, come join the Discord. The link is, of course, in the description down below. It's an invite. You can hit that link if you're not already a member of the Discord. You can get in there. If you're not a user of Discord, the link will give you the prompt to get the app or use it via your web browser. You can, I think you can log in through other things, like if you have a Google account, that kind of thing. Anyway, get in there, make an account, join us. We're all hanging out. It's a lot of fun, and we'll be there for the next few hours, I'm sure. But that's it for the stream for this week. I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm going to spend some time with the fam. We're going to have a good time. I got some stuff lined up for not next week. The week of the 25th, I'm going to be appearing on another channel. I'm going to have more news for you about that, but I'm definitely looking forward to that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Also been in the chats with Jeremy McKenzie. Gonna have a chat with him either here or on his channel. Want to get into that. I want to learn more about the Diagolon, how he took the parliament by storm with a joke, and they ran with it in order to run their propaganda. But holy cow, that is a funny story. I want to learn more about it. We're going to find out more about that with Jeremy McKenzie and get to know that. And hopefully end up over on his stream and have a chat with him over there, where he has a lot of fun, a lot more swears, which is why I have to like put on headphones when I'm watching his, and a lot more music going on his. But that's it. Blair is a dude. Yeah, Blair. That's how Blair was born. Go check Blair out anyway. Great conversations over on that channel. But yes, let's go hang over in the Discord. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Monday in the morning. Keep on trucking.